Hi, my name is Crystal McDonald in MDF3, term 1310, and this is my reflection video for week 3. Um, for the third project, we were to implement an action bar with an overflow tab that takes the user between two activities, and also an icon shortcut. We also had to implement a widget that could be configured, would be able to update and launch the application as well. If I could have done anything differently, I would have done an entirely different project and then started my research on widgets sooner, maybe like Friday of last week. It took me a while to even figure out how I was going to implement these features, how the app would come together, that sort of thing. So it took me a really long time. And then I took all of Tuesday researching widgets and got nowhere. So I finally decided to drop it, do action bars, and go back to widgets afterwards, just so I made sure I had something. The clarification for this week would definitely be on widgets. Also, I was wondering, and I think it was because I was overcomplicating this. I was wondering if there was a way to create a project and then install it into as an add-on to a new project. And I know that's way overcomplicating it now that I was thinking about it. I was thinking that by doing that, by creating the widget and installing it into another app, when the project began, I could install the widget when beginning the application. So I don't know why I was thinking I had to do it that way. It wasn't until I went back and read everything and watched the videos again that I was like, okay, I don't have to do it that way. So I did successfully create a widget on its own, but when adding it into a project with the other activities, it wouldn't work. So I'm not sure exactly what I'm doing wrong. I've started thinking about ADP2. I'm actually a little nervous because my app idea, excuse me, I love, and it's something that I actually want to put on the apps market. But it's definitely above my level of knowledge. So I'm thinking maybe as a final project, there's a lot to it, and doing it in 1 month is probably not going to work. I'm not sure. But what I wanted to do was create a social video app that limits the user to about 90 seconds worth of video that can be shared with others. And the topics will range from like mini video blogs to rants on subjects, reviews on movies or TV shows, music, that sort of thing, or raves, what they like about, whatever. And hopefully involve like inspiring directors and producers later on to showcase their work on it. So it'll kind of be like the video version of Dribble. So it'll be what it is for inspiring directors and producers as it is, Dribble is to graphic designers. So that sort of thing. Let's go over my application. Unfortunately, I'll only be showing you the action bar requirement today. I don't actually have a widget to display at the moment. If I can't get it to work tonight, I'll most likely just remove the code anyway, and sadly just take that hit on all those major points, which is pretty sad. But here's my application. Whipple is basically an application for clammers, and for people who like to clam, and for people who are watching tides. And this front part uses my services. But my action bar over here to the right, I have the overflow, and it's set up for clamming tips and an about the author. And actually, about author, if you click on it, it just displays my name in a pop-up dialog. But if you go to clamming tips, it actually gives you tips. And if you click the button in the middle, the little shell, you can go to a web view, and that's just the second activity that I have. Um, I also, for my icon shortcut, I have an info button, and it just basically displays information about the application itself. So if you click the info icon, it'll tell you about Whipple, what you can do, the application, when it was created, that sort of thing. So just going over here real quick, this gives you, like I said, the tide information for the Puget Sound area. So you can click in Seattle and hit get current tide, and it'll give you that information. Also, if you hit get location, it'll give you the latitude and longitude of it. Again, I don't have the widget to display, so that makes me sad, but I was hoping to actually have the widget, so I guess I should tell you. Just like the clamming tips that are set up here, I was hoping to have the widget display clamming tips at random, and so each of these randomly every time you clicked on the widget or every couple of hours. But unfortunately that didn't happen. I knew for a fact that I wasn't going to have enough time in my schedule to be able to display the tide information. That would have been cool. Above what in my knowledge and expertise, I have none. So anyway, this is basically my app, and I'll get to my code. My XML that layout that shows how the widget was supposed to be set up. So basically I have an image view that was supposed to be set up also as a button that would launch the activity, and then I also have a default string here that serves as a placeholder for the random tips that are generated. And so this is basically just it here. And so I'm actually going to go to the main activity, and I'll go over my action bar. I won't really go over the tide prediction information. I can give you a link that gives you more of that code, but it's really just code basically from last month that I'm using with the services and sharing the title information. So I figured, just to save time, it's probably better to go over the main requirement code. So here is my action bar I'm setting up. I'm inflating the menu. And this is actually fun because this is the first time that I really paid attention to this area I did not understand before. So this item is adding the action bar because it is present. I have a Boolean set to find action bar items. And so right now I have them found by ID. I have my author, about, and my tips. The about and the about is set up as the shortcut icon. Sorry, my tracker's doing something funky. And the author and the tips are actually in the overflow. The about author information is set up in a method here, and I basically just have an alert dialog that I've created that gives information about who I am, and it's basically just my name. So in my Whipple widget here, I am setting up random tips to be displayed in my widget here, and I am calling methods to display the first tip, and then when starting the widget. And I'm creating a method that handles random tips basically by a timer, and then I'm getting those tips to be displayed randomly here. Whoops. And I also have my widget provider is set up and is not working right now. So I have it setting up with a pending intent, and I'm identifying the widget here. And I actually found that I had to launch a flag in the intent I didn't have before for some reason. But also I'm creating this remote view here, and I actually had to add an update, a flag update current to get it, but it still isn't working. I'm not sure exactly why, but I did add this information so that it created a new activity in case it didn't show up. I'm telling the app manager here to perform an update on the current app widget that I have, so that when the numbers that I've set it up for, and I think I set it up for like an hour, it updates or something like that, then the view changes, or actually on a click as well. Again, this is just the basic requirements that I'm showing you the code for. Again, my name is Crystal McDonald in MDF3, term 1310.